Today, we're digging into a powerful story about two people whose entire world has just been turned upside down. They're literally walking away from everything they once believed in, just completely lost in grief. But, on this journey, a chance encounter with a total stranger is about to change everything. This is the story of the road to Emmaus.
To really get this story, let's start with a feeling I think we've all had. Have you ever seen someone and you know them, but you just can't place them? Well, this story takes that feeling and dials it way up, exploring the huge difference between just seeing someone and truly recognizing them. All right, so our story kicks off on this dusty road leading away from Jerusalem. It's the third day after Jesus was crucified. For his followers, this is rock bottom. All hope is gone. And they aren't just leaving a city, they're walking away from the very center of their shattered faith.
So just picture this, right? Two of Jesus's followers trudging along on a 7-mile walk to a little village called Emmaus. The text is so specific here. It says their faces were downcast. They are turning their backs on the city where their leader was just executed, and they are just swallowed up by grief and confusion.
Wow, this one line, it just captures the heart of their despair, doesn't it? One of them, a guy named Cleopas, eventually says this to the stranger who joins them. You can just hear how their hopes, both personal and for their whole nation, have been totally crushed. They thought Jesus was the one, and now he's dead.
Okay, so this is where things get really interesting. As they're walking and talking, a stranger just appears and joins them. But here's the crucial part. The scripture says they were kept from recognizing him. So this isn't just them not paying attention. Something is actively stopping them from seeing who is walking right there beside them.
And the stranger starts with such a simple question. So what are you guys talking about? And the disciples are just floored. Their reaction is pretty much, are you the only person in all of Jerusalem who has no idea what just happened? I mean, to them, the question is just absurd. These events had shaken the whole city. How could anyone not know? So they just lay it all out for him. They have all the facts, all the puzzle pieces. They know Jesus was a prophet. They know he was crucified. They know it's the third day. They've even heard these wild reports about an empty tomb and a vision of angels. See, they have all the right information, but they can't put the picture together. The facts aren't leading them to hope. They're just making them more confused. And this is the turning point. After listening to their whole sad, confused story, the stranger doesn't just offer some empty platitudes. No, he completely reframes their entire reality by taking them back to the one place they should have been looking all along, their own scriptures. He doesn't start with comfort. He starts with this powerful challenge. It's a direct shot at their worldview. They saw the crucifixion as a total failure, the end of everything. But the stranger flips it on its head. He says it was necessary, that it was all part of the plan. He's basically telling them, guys, the suffering wasn't the end of the story. It was the required path to glory. And he doesn't just say it, he proves it. He starts right at the beginning with Moses and walks them through all the prophets, connecting the dots. It's like he's weaving this incredible thread through their entire history, showing how it all pointed to this exact moment, not just the glory of the Messiah, but the suffering too. So they finally get to Emmaus, and the disciples, they convince the stranger to stay and have dinner with them. The big Bible study on the road is over, but the real revelation, the aha moment, is about to happen in the most ordinary setting you can imagine, a shared meal. What happens next is so simple, but for these disciples, it's profoundly familiar. The stranger, their guest, suddenly takes on the role of the host. He takes bread, he gives thanks, he breaks it, and he shares it. These are the exact same actions Jesus performed at the Last Supper. It's an echo of his most intimate moments with them. And in that moment, in that simple, familiar action, bam, everything clicks. It's not just about seeing him with their physical eyes anymore. It's in the breaking of the bread that their eyes were opened, and they finally, truly recognize him. The lesson on the road prepared their minds, sure, but it was this shared meal that blew their hearts wide open. But check this out. The second they recognize him, poof, he's gone. He just vanishes. There's no long, drawn-out reunion. The moment of recognition was the point. He leaves them there, alone, with this burning truth just exploding in their minds. What happens next is a total reversal. That journey that started as a sad retreat from Jerusalem now becomes a frantic race back to it.
Their whole world, their whole emotional state has been completely transformed.
I mean, this slide says it all, right? They started the day with downcast faces, just drowning in sorrow. Now they're looking back on the walk and saying, "Were not our hearts burning within us?" That little spark of understanding he lit on the road has now turned into an absolute bonfire of joy.
There's zero hesitation. The scripture says they got up and returned at once. That same 7-mile road they had just trudged down in misery, they are now practically sprinting back up with this urgent new purpose. Despair is gone, replaced by a mission. They have to tell someone.
And when they finally burst back into Jerusalem, they find out their incredible story gets confirmed. They're met with the same news from the other disciples. It's true, the Lord has risen, and he also appeared to Simon Peter. Their personal revelation wasn't an isolated thing. It was part of a much bigger, unfolding reality.
And all of this brings us right back to where we started. The story of Emmaus shows us that true recognition is so much more than just physical sight. The disciples walked and talked with Jesus for hours, but they only recognized him when their minds were opened by the scriptures and their hearts were opened in fellowship. It's a story that leaves us with a pretty big question for ourselves, doesn't it? How often do we look at the world and the people around us without ever truly seeing?